Good morning to the team that's joined us from the US. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join this exclusive webinar, right? So before we go ahead, we have a little video to play for you, and then I'm going to tell you about the agenda for this evening. Ma'am, can we move on? Thank you for that, ma'am. Thank you for playing that video. And like as you have seen, Vee Technologies or the Sona Group is into many businesses and established the first IT park in India. So before we go ahead, let me very quickly run you through the agenda. Now, it's going to be a lovely webinar. The reason being, let me go through the first part of the agenda. Ma'am, agenda is broken into three parts. Now, the first part of the agenda, we have eminent experts from the industry who are going to address you. Now, when I say eminent, it's important for us to understand that these people are true strategists. These people are people who have their eyes into the future, and they have the ears on the ground. So they understand the entire business. And very, very important, it's also important for us to understand that these people are people who care about people. They are people who care about people, and they truly know the future of the industry. So the first part, which is why Vee Technologies leading the landscape, leading the changing landscape of HCC coding, impact of technology, growth of the HCC coders at Vee Technologies, etc., will be dealt with these experts. And after that, we're going to move to the second part. And here we're going to listen to the gurus. Now, they are going to give us certain insights on decisions we need to make. And then in the final part, we will have awards for people who have participated during this. So you'll have people who have enrolled early, you'll have people who've joined the session early. And yes, we're going to have quizzes throughout this session, and you will be awarded for it. And post that, we're going to have the most important session, which is a Q&A session where you would be able to ask the experts any doubts that you have, right? So I think we can get into the program. Before we go into the program, let me introduce our first panelist, right? I think, that slide says it all, but remember, he is a gentleman who has a huge exposure as far as technology goes. He's played a huge role in the Vee Technology, the progress of Vee Technologies. He's an entrepreneur par excellence, a true innovator, but most importantly, a very warm human being, right? And if you look at what he believes in globalizing success to make lives better. Please welcome Mr. Choco Valiappa.
Very good evening and good morning to all the folks in the US. The Sona Group, as you know, started 100 years ago, and it's my privilege to give you a short glimpse about what we're doing and how it plays into the future of a lot of what we're talking today. So like you saw that we started 100 years ago, and we are across several industries, and but our true roots come in from this picture of Gandhi that you see here today, along with Rajaji, with the first Viceroy of India. It was in this picture that Gandhi actually stopped wearing a shirt in the 1920s when he was a guest of our founder. And Rajaji's house is where we started Sona College of Technology and more importantly, Tyagaraja Polytechnic, along with Indian independence. So, and along we actually brought IT to India. Not too many companies can say that. So the actual IT industry came in 1982 in this very building, which is, I think you need to stop screen sharing, Salvina. So I'll stop. Yeah. So this is in this picture that the IT industry actually started, and that's where our head office in India is. And that's we have multiple centers across India, as you will know. like, Bangalore, Salem, Chennai, and this is just a few of it. This is pre-COVID. So this is how we used to operate. And this is how we started and went into the US. And we wanted to actually become a true multinational, going across and actually setting up a US company with local Americans leading the USA. And that's how we are a unique dually headquartered company in New York in the US and in India in Bangalore. And that's what is standing and put us way ahead of a lot of the competition. So we celebrate our annual event every year, and this is actually the August is the year where we meet in New York. The entire company meets and gets together. And this has resulted in a lot of growth. And like Fortune magazine, every June article, if you have the chance to pick a Fortune magazine, this month's Fortune, you will see us right there, because we feature in the Global Outsourcing 100 every year for the last 5 years. And that all is the success that we've had. This picture, in many ways, emphasizes the 100 years of success. So where we had President Kalam come in and inaugurate our research centers in our college, in our university, Sona University. Why is that important? Because it shows the industry connect with academia and getting awards in terms of industry linkages. And our linkages is there right in space, where you see Vee Technologies actually delivering Sona Motors, which is also the same. Sona Motors is actually in space with the ISRO chairman coming in and congratulating the success that we've had. And you will say, why is it important? Because we are bringing that for coding technology. So what the world is doing today, if I could spend 20 seconds on this, that the world is trying to get into computer-assisted coding. And what computer-assisted coding is going to do is to try to remove a lot of the coders out of jobs. But what we are trying to do is to make the coders more productive. How we are doing that is through our coding assistant platform, as well as something called BotH, which is our world. And this is what we are trying to do, trying to take charts, make them work faster for the coder, so that we could use the coder and make them a super coder, if you can understand and visualize. So this is the future that we are trying to do. And that is why we are trying to call all of you and then talk about the future and how do you de-risk yourself. And also the coding technology is changing. As you know, that the CMS is now going to retire the RAPS and get into the EDPS. The entire system is going to change. And why is it that we are the right place for you? Because there are several countries who are relying on us. So Vee Technologies is creating the Saudi DRG system. Not too many companies can go and say that. We are actually defining how a country should actually operate. And that is why we are working with the Saudi Arabia team and trying to get the entire DRG system, which is a hybrid system between American and Australian system, in place for the country of Saudi Arabia. And again, why is this slide important? The X prize is one of the most famous prizes in the world. It's a $5 million X prize, which is about 35 crores. And one of our companies, Hire Me, is in the final of the rapid reskilling X prize in the US on how do you skill people faster into this changing world. So the X prize has put us in one of the top 10, and we are leading the X prize. So what is and that means that you're in the right place. So with all these changes coming in, I think it's the right place that when the world is changing, who can you be with? And we truly believe in making lives better. So, and being in the fulcrum of healthcare, so we thought that we should actually help build a 500-bed hospital in COVID times, that we did, and built and actually fed these 500-bed hospitals continuously in terms of trying to do good. Then we also reached out to our clients and built an app called Swasa, which all of you can easily download. It's the easiest software to download. It doesn't ask you anything. And we thank our clients, John Hopkins, and we've also embedded ICMR, CDC guidelines on how to monitor COVID through the life cycle, and also have vaccination centers. So that's something that we try to truly believe in wellness. And that is where we are actually taking healthcare and bringing it to India in something called Vee Plus, which is a way where we take what you're doing as risk-adjusted coding and bring it into wellness. This is for the future in terms of how can you take the risk and then take it into a pre-visit scenario. And I think you need to highlight me again. Richard, you need to go on mute. Hello? Can you highlight me again, please?
Sir, you're highlighted, sir.
Yeah, okay.
We're able to hear you, sir, clearly, and your video is also clear.
And then can you mute the others too? So because, yeah. And the Hive is something that, which is very unique in India, where what we are trying to do is, I don't see, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, so Vee Hive is something very, very important because it takes the new hybrid of working. If you look at NDTV, NDTV has featured Vee Hive in one of their primetime shows. This link will be coming to you as well. So we plan to open 10 Vee Hives across India, and be it in Tiruchi, Hyderabad, Nizamabad, Chittor, Mangalore, Thrissur, Jaipur, Guwahati, Salem, and Colombo. So these are the 10 Vee Hives that we plan to do, where accommodation is going to be free for anyone joining us there. And you will also live and work together in the same place. So we believe that when people are starting their careers, they're spending about 35–40% of their salaries in investing in rental, and that's a waste of money. So that's one of our new ways to try to get people to stay together, work together, enjoy together. And so what does this picture mean to you? Like, you know, it's the 5,000 fastest growing companies in the US, and we have continuously been there. So, and this is a testament to the growth that we've had over the years. And to conclude, you know, today you have many options, and the East India Company came into India as a company and took over the nation. So you have a choice to be in an Indian multinational company today, to look at the future and de-risk yourself. And we are not just a normal company. We are the only company in India and America and the US to be in the best places to work in healthcare. We are the only company to be there in both these places. So, and this is why we invite you, and cheers to extraordinary outcomes. So it's a pleasure trying to be with you today. And then I know it's Independence Day. I thought I'll end by wishing you a happy Independence Day. So thanks a lot. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you and meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Valiappa. Thank you so much. And we know through your deeds that you truly believe that in making lives better. And yes, we are among the best places to work. Now, the next guest, I'm sorry, I won't call him the guest. The next speaker is our president. And I don't think he needs too much of introduction as far as his portfolio goes, right? What stands out is, remember, he is someone who was a co-founder of IBM Integrated System Solutions Corporation, which over time evolved to IBM Global Services. Now, he's someone who, through his deeds, demonstrates that he trusts all the employees. And very important is, he's someone who believes that we need to commit to long-term relationships with our clients. And it's important for us to understand this is what has helped us grow and continue to grow. Mr. O'Malley, the screen is all yours. You're on mute, Patrick.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Okay, I want to start by saying thank you for the honor to present to you all. I want to begin by visualizing what this conversation is about today. If you remember a poet, Robert Frost, saying, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. What is that about? What is it that he is talking about? Well, a road is something that's designed by a person. It just doesn't happen. And it's intentional. And he talks about the yellow wood because that's in the autumn of your life. You have the birth, which is spring, summer, fall, and winter. And what he's saying is he's pondering what it's going to be like someday when he sighs and he says, okay, what choices did I make that matter? And I think that the decision today that you have is one of those that you're going to look back and say, which road did I take? The interesting thing about this poem is there really isn't that much difference in the roads they take as they do it. And you don't know until later, as you're pondering whether you were successful or not. And I think that this poem is the one that is most discussed in literary circles as to, was it the road taken or the road not taken that he is pondering? And the challenge to you is to take the road that dared you to try, to dared you to make a difference, that dared you to leave something behind that matters. And I think that you are on you have the opportunity to make a decision that really is could impact the rest of your life. You decide little things when you're growing up. Do I want white milk or chocolate milk? Do I want this school or not? Which high school do I want to go to? Which university do I want to go to? Those are all decisions along the way that you get a lot of help making. But at the end of the day, you have to make it, and you get the reward or not of what comes next. So what we do here at Vee Technologies is we globalize success to make lives better. But what is success? Think about it. What is success? Is it something to laugh often? That's how some people define it. Just kind of go through life, just have a good time. Perhaps it's win the respect of people, the affection of children. How about earn the appreciation of honest critics? How about to bring out the very best in others? How about at the end of the day, to leave the world a better place and to make a difference? Vee Technologies is about developing relevant solutions to help the world. Just think back 20 years ago, could we have had this kind of broadcast? Also think back to the last 2 years with the COVID, how different it's been, all of our constant changes that we had to make. Some of the most extraordinary outcomes you've ever seen was going to at-home support in coding, and how we did that and what you want to do. That took the success of all of us. So if we go on and we say, listen, we want to provide exceptional service to our clients, innovative processes, but we want to couple it with experienced, highly competent resources. Those resources are what we're talking about today. It isn't often that you get the opportunity to join a company as esteemed as Vee Technologies. We get a lot of candidates that want to join. And the difference now is that we are coming out of the COVID activity, a more learned company, a better company, but one with a lot of opportunity as other companies look to get us to join. And we are the pinnacle. We are the top of the industry. The things that Chaco was talking about, he didn't mention that how many of our esteemed clients, of universities, of payers and providers, in that their entire business relies on the quality of things like coding, and you are being given that opportunity. So today we are at a point where you have to say, why Vee Technologies? And what it is technology uses tools to solve problems. We develop relevant solutions in an evolving myriad of situation, ever-changing world. We take a disciplined approach to our clients, and we take them to where their dreams are. So who are we? What kind of people do we look for? Are you one of these people? And I thought I'd capture that in bias towards action. That don't wait for your ship to come in, swim out and meet it. And that character is everything. Only you can give your character away. Only you can build your character. We are one of the companies that have joined together where we have a tremendous amount of trust. Chaco and I have known each other for many years now. This is our 11th year in August. Right now, this is our celebration of the BUSA piece. But even before that, Chaco has already begun the business and supporting the payer side. And it starts and ends in integrity. And truthfulness is doing what you say you're going to do and doing it. We emphasize the education edge that the Sona University and all of the aspects are. We want people that have a thirst for learning. And that is, if you're that person, this is the place to be. We want to be inclusive of all perspectives. We think that competition it's a global community out there. And I will tell you that this is the most important thing that we could be doing together. There are other countries that are gearing up in nuclear materials because they want to wage war. They want to disrupt the international and the global community. They want to have a better economy through force. We don't want that. We want to include all perspectives. We want to develop courage. Courage is grace under pressure. We want you to have that. We want to be the team that others want to join, and that's what we're told that we are, and we want to position for growth going forward. How do we do that? What we do is we have a clear set of goals. When you join the company, you will know exactly what is expected of you. You will know exactly, how long you're expected that you have to accomplish your goals. We hire the person. We don't hire the position. So yes, you come in at a position, but you can earn your way on. We are a merit-based company. We're excited about your career. Management is set up here to support the employee, not the other way around. We are the ones who will be excited for everything that you do that develops your personal, your spiritual, and your work life. We will be mostly focused, obviously, on your work goals, and your success is our success. And that's what I wanted to focus on in the comments today. In terms of the business, as Chaco mentioned, we're a healthy business. We have pivoted along the way, given the demands of the virus recently. But we've been doing that our whole careers. We've been sought out by many institutions. We now, have dozens and dozens of the best clients in the world. And we have joint cooperation to learn as much as possible from them. So we are well positioned to go forward. We are a balanced company, but more than that, we share the same point of view that Richard was talking about earlier, that we have the kind of people that you want to get to know, that you would invite into your house. We have the kind of people that are the ones that you look up to in life. And when we look at maximizing people, the potential and success, we really focus on areas that many other companies leave this behind. Oh, yeah, that's a good thing to say. We don't do that. We give you a mentor who is really responsible for your growth. He or she is the one that is going to have your back, that when times are tough, that somebody that it's not just management, but your mentor to help you succeed. We are interested and we buy into the fact that our people can be the best in the industry if given the right kind of coaching and tools. Now you got to meet us halfway. You've got to be the kind of person that's energized, that's smart, that you are driven, that you are somebody that can handle the problems and not make pebbles into mountains. Instead, make mountains into pebbles and do that. Coaching is good, and having brave conversations. Brave conversations is truthful feedback as to how you're doing so that you will improve, not trying to ignore it because it's uncomfortable. And a balance of life. And the final thing is that a little bit of what Chaco was talking about is the many accolades that we get. And I'm not going to go through all of them. It's quite a few. every year. But almost every month we receive some kind of accolade and praise. And the impact outsourcing, this is new to us. It's part of IOP and the global outsourcing. And IOP was begun in 2005. It actually had its very beginnings back in about 1997 when a bunch of people started getting together. And it was the global community that's trying to bring a sense of excellence and process to companies that do want to do onshore or offshore outsourcing, and mostly it's a collaborative organization. They're very demanding though, and they're very specific. And we have been in the top 100 of that for many years now. We have been recognized as I mentioned earlier, for the 5,000, well, actually started out as the 500 fastest growing, but it's a 5,000 fastest growing companies in the world. And just so you know this, that only 2% of the companies in the United States specifically are have reached this 5 years in a row. I got interviewed a few months ago of how in the world did we do that? You know, that we are continually growing like that. And it's because of the people. It's because of the people, process, and tools that we have and the right vision that people share. And the final thing of being recognized by modern healthcare, I agree with Chaco on that, to have both countries differently, independently, doing this kind of accolades, I think is very important. So at the end of the day, you know, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the opportunity to choose the road that can make all the difference for you, to choose the road that is not just a job, but it's a career, to choose a road that you are going to look back and say, my definition of success is the ability to make a difference, to raise people up, to be somebody that has given back to society and cooperated that way. And you might be saying, well, wait a minute, I'm just coding, or I'm just doing this piece of it. You be reminded of that person that as they're building the steps, you know, that is asked, that one person's asked, what are you doing? And he said, well, I'm just laying bricks here. It's just a job. And then they go forward and they ask somebody else, what are you doing? And they said, I'm building a cathedral, and I'm building the first steps towards having a cathedral. Have a bigger picture, because if you can grab onto the vision of how this can change your lives, if you are competent, if you can be one of the best, you will have that opportunity here. So just like the decision of which road to take, the parting of in the forest, that now you're sitting here and you're trying to evaluate that. I welcome and congratulate the people that choose the road that of Vee Technologies and being part of our team. And I look forward to working very closely with you. And I want to congratulate you for joining. This is your first step, right? The first step to anything is the most important. You know, and this is your first step. So I want to congratulate you for joining today's Market Insights. For the leaders in HCC Coding, and go make it your best career and your best year ever. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Very inspirational. And my takeaway, bias towards action. You need to have a thirst to learn. And yes, the team, others want to join. And I believe this is a team that others want to join. Why? Because people, the management, the leaders are approachable. They're very passionate about what they're doing. And yes, they want you to grow. They want you to grow. Yes, maximizing success. Thank you so much for that. Before I move to the next part of it, I want to tell all the people, I see a lot of question and answers. Keep bringing that up. We have a separate session for question and answers. A few questions that have come up is, will we be giving participation e-certificates to all? Yes, we definitely will be giving you. But more than that, you also have to realize that you also have to understand that we have a lot of awards that are going to be given out this evening. A lot of awards that will be given out this evening. And like I already told you, you know, one of the awards is for your early joiners, an award for the early enrollers. But there are also questions that we have for you all. So I hope you all are listening, right? And I'm going to give you the first few questions, right? You can start typing in the answers. So what is the mission of Vee Technologies? That's the first question. What is the mission of Vee Technology? And yes, what is our vision statement? What is our vision statement? You can start typing that in while I announce the next leader who's going to speak to you. Right now, this gentleman was a former handball world champion. Strategy has been a part of his life. Strategy has been a part of his life. From sports to being, somebody who adds values to the client's business. Who better than Mr. Silas Goldman to speak to us about the changing landscape leading of the HCC coding. Thank you so much. Silas, over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Richard. And let me start off by saying thank you for being here, and to the hundreds of attendees that made that decision to take the first step towards joining Vee Technologies and being part of something truly extraordinary and truly globally impactful. Thank you for being here. I do think that you made the right decision. This is the first step of joining one of the most progressive risk adjustment companies in the world. And take it from me, who spends my life in the industry, understanding the market economics associated with value-based care. There is no one who matches up to the innovation, the success, and the progressiveness of Vee Technologies. And that's evident by looking at our clientele. We work with some of the biggest names in healthcare that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'm going to show you a little bit about some of the market conditions and why this is the time to join. There is a major push towards alternative payment models and value-based care. The concept right now is to do a preventative care and chronic disease management without paying for those acute conditions, those acute visits across different care continuum. It's really a data-driven model, which makes us at the forefront of taking data, using cognitive intelligence to support the coding workflows. Unlike most of the competitors in this space, we grew up in the physician and the coding space versus the payer space or the business space. We have a true understanding of the art of coding and the art of medicine at its most intimate level from an HCC coder's perspective. And you'll hear some experts, some global experts within the HCC space talk here in just a little bit. What you need to know is that Vee Technologies has essentially been brought up in the coding world focused on HCC. You might go to the next slide there, please. Thank you. We spend our time at the front lines. So we are literally the most progressive company in the HCC space, which was recognized from all the awards that Mr. O'Malley laid out for you on the screen. The best names in healthcare across the US who are focused on changing the way medicine is delivered have relied on Vee Technologies, and it's an honor that you're considering being part of our team. It's a mistake that you will not regret. It is truly the best step forward that you're ever going to take in your professional career. We have a dedicated model we call the SPOC model. This is the combination of an Indian point of contact, a US point of contact that have direct contact with the clients. Now, the reason this is so important, because it puts the HCC coders working on any account directly in front of a client, which is unmatched in the industry. You get direct feedback. You get to grow your professional skills. More importantly, you grow your personal skills. You become a better business leader by joining Vee Technologies and following our business operations model. We have a very consistent rhythm. That rhythm is the reason we have the lowest attrition rate in the industry, and we see all of our promotions coming from within. We groom some of the best talent from a combination of abstracting from our Sona University, advancing them through ongoing career education, and then putting our HCC coders in the environment to succeed personally and professionally. It is truly the spot to be for a career advancement. Next slide, please. Our model covers everything amongst the risk spectrum, from prospective clinical reviews, which Dr. Kalamalo from Kerala will discuss here shortly, through chart retrieval, HCC retrospective reviews. We deliver the same model with the same high quality SLAs to ACOs, commercial risk adjustment, Medicare risk adjustment, direct contracting plans, and the various deployments of CMS reimbursement models in all types of care settings. This all points to the new model of population health. The next slide, please. Our model itself is designed to be the coder workflow supported with an NLP engine that allows you to perform better within your jobs. The concept is not to take away from the art of coding, and you that are HCC coders, especially those HCC coders that have received their certifications, completely understand that there is an art to HCC coding and understanding documentation that is required that will not ever be replaced by a computer. We get that. We know exactly what that means and how that impacts the physician and the patient relationship, and we build that into our workflows. We use an NLP engine that supports our HCC coding. This allows us to capture the advanced severity of illness for all the patients in the most accurate possible way and close those CDI gaps. This particular model removes all the inefficiencies that you might see other places in the market. It is truly an innovative and respected model that we've deployed time and time again. It minimizes the loss of revenue that most of our competitors are seeing in the market right now. We are truly the industry's premier HCC coding partner. We'll be honored to have you on our team and learn how to grow personally and professionally. To discuss this even further, I'm going to hand it over to our esteemed COO. Thank you.
Silas, before we hand it over to Mr. Muralidhar, thank you so much. And yes, we become better business leaders. And like you say, people love to stay in this company because of the culture, because of the approachability of the management, right? We are able to take risks. So yes, the attrition rate is the lowest in the industry. Thank you so much for that. Now, the next person that I would like to call on is the darling of the employees, right? You won't, when you work at Vee Technologies, you realize that this gentleman is always approachable, very, very supportive, a great, great listener, a great motivator. Mr. Muralidhar, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. And, welcome to all of you for this evening. I'm sure, you're going to be thinking back when you finish this webinar. Hey, I've been missing this company for a very long time. And, that's how everyone works in Vee Technologies. Like in any other industry today, the technology has a lot of inroads into healthcare as well. Many of you may be aware of some of the advancements in the technology areas, especially in areas like HCC coding and captive platforms and things like that. We in Vee Technologies, we believe in bringing in technology not as just a software product. We really want to bring in technology to improve the operational performance, which means it's going to give all of you a lot of time to do things other than just coding, which means you will have that extra bandwidth to be able to do maybe learn another specialty other than HCC. How we can do that is the technology platform that we are currently doing will make sure that your productivity is increased. So if you are doing 2 or 3 charts in an hour, maybe you can do 4 or 5, which means you get that additional time, to learn and, to become more proficient in your career. And what does it mean to our clients? when you guys do a great job, increase your productivity, the technology also helps you and our clients with a higher quality in what they get. That's very, very important. And Vee Technologies has always been known in the marketplace because we deliver the highest quality to our clients in whatever processes that we are engaged with. Our quality has been, on an average about 97, 98% all the time. So that's how, Vee Technologies is a company that works, and we have brought in technology again in many of our processes and areas to enhance the efficiency not only of the coders, enhance the efficiency of the overall processes, enhance the efficiencies of the overall organization, enhance efficiency with respect to our clients as well. And at the end of the day, there is a lot of cost effectiveness, that is achieved by doing all of these. Silas briefly touched upon the NLP and the, how we are using NLP, in the risk-adjusted coding area. That's a major technology platform, which is revolutionizing the healthcare industry as such. And Vee Technologies have been leading, the usage of, such, leading edge technologies into our processes. We also use a lot of robotic automation, process automation. We also use a lot of artificial intelligence. We make our software learn. We train our software to become more effective, to help our coders, to help our other employees who are doing other processes. So there is a lot of technology transformation that is happening, that has happened, that's happening, that will continue to happen, in order that our employees in Vee Technologies, become the most efficient in terms of the execution, as well as, understanding the various areas of, coding, not just HCC. Maybe today you might, come into Vee Technologies as a HCC coder, but you will have a lot of opportunities to learn other specialties, which some of my colleagues are going to talk to you about. So, think about it. You're not only going to be in just a manual coding kind of an environment, you're going to be in an environment, working in an environment where you will get help from your colleagues, your supervisors, but more than that, you will get a lot of help from the technology that we are using. So, think about whatever, the panelists have been saying all this while, and then, when you go back, I'm sure you are going to have a different mindset. Thank you. All the best to all of you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muralidhar. Now, before we move to the next session, we'll just take a little while here, right? Just a little while. We have a few questions. I can see people typing in the vision, the mission. Excellent. I'm going to repeat those questions so people could, become a part of this. And yes, the exciting e-vouchers to be won. So please keep typing in those answers. You might get those e-vouchers, a lot of money to be won today, a lot of these e-vouchers. So participate, keep typing in your questions. So let me move to the next question that I have. And now the first one was the Vee vision and the mission. So we asked two different questions there. And we also, want you to type in any 3 advancements which are new in the HCC coding domain. Any 3 advancements that are new in the HCC coding domain, right? Any 3 advancements. So while you do that, let me take this time to introduce the next panelist. Now, he is the darling of his team, okay? They consider him as the super leader. Now, this is what his team says, right? Why? He has transformed many lives. He has nurtured many leaders. He takes exceptional efforts to share his knowledge, coach his team, and mentor everyone. I take this opportunity to invite Mr. Jagdish Kumar to take on this part of the program. Jagdish, over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Richard, and good evening, all. Next slide, please. Yeah, I'd like to take a couple of minutes just to talk about as a career, what's there for medical coder. And yeah, I started my career as medical coder trainee, and yeah, I'm now a business unit head. But yeah, especially the team or the coders working on the HCC side. Definitely, I think that we are all following the latest updates and all, like the risk adjustment equation going from RAPS to EDPS, which means like there will not be any retrospective reviews in the future. So I mean, the coding gurus will be talking on this after this. So I just want to share with you like how at Vee Technologies we are ahead of the curve on this. So we started following CMS directives of the RAPS to EDPS conversions 5 years back, and that's where with the help of our US team, we were able to find out the organizations where we can team up with, like the physician organizations, ACOs and all, and then coach them in turn, like how the risk scoring or the risk adjustment landscape is going to be. And today, if I say like Vee Technologies, though like on the hospital coding side and the physician coding side, we are the market leaders. Market leaders is not in terms of number of headcount, but the clients what we have. Like we work with 7 of the top 10 healthcare institutions in the US, some prestigious names, which are ranked in the top 10 by the VUSA World Report, VUS News and World Report. And I can say like 98% of our clients are direct clients, which are like acute care hospitals. And then we have academic health institutions and prestigious physician groups and technology partners and things like that. So we also develop in-house some of the tools like what Murali have presented in his presentation, which is like, it's like CAC, but if you see 3M computer assisted coding software or Optums or anything, they build the tools first and then forced on us to use them. So that's where like we're not able to use them properly. But these tools at Vee Technologies, we suggested our IT team to build in a way, because we are from the process side. We know coding and how the CAC's computer assisted coding software is like disadvantageous. Like, like it kind of suggests a lot of false negative, false positive findings, which actually kills the coder's productive time. I mean, if a coder codes the chart in 2 to 3 hours, or like two to three charts in an hour, with the help of current CACs in the market, because of the false negatives the CACs always suggest, we have to spend a lot. So yeah, we develop tools, technologies, and we also like partnered with right institutions so that we are ahead of the curve on the risk adjustment side. Yeah, we do 7 to 8 million charts every year on the retrospective side with some of the payers. But if you see on the prospective reviews and also the concurrent reviews, which is like more like how the world or risk adjustment world to be in the future, we are ahead of the curve, and that's how like we train our coders. So our coders work on the retrospective reviews during the season, May to Jan, and then after that we have a team working on different chart types, especially the HCC coders. as you all know, like from Jan to June, June to Jan, that's the season. And after that, a lot of companies, I mean, who handles HCC coding, they don't have much to offer to their coders. But that's how Vee Technologies is different. All of our HCC coders, they get trained on different chart types. And you're going to hear two examples after me, like for my colleagues who started with HCC coding and what they are doing now. I mean, it's interesting stories to hear. And yeah, so I started with how we are ahead of the curve in this way. Like we started preparing our coders, not just on the retrospective reviews. Or we train them on prospective reviews, concurrent reviews, and all, plus the other chart types as well. So if all the coders who join Vee Technologies on the HCC side, definitely they will be handling 2 or 3 chart types, not just the HCC. So that actually helps us in, like Richard was talking about, the lowest attrition rate ever in the industry. That's because of that. So people join here, or they learn different chart types, not just HCC. Or if a physician coder wants to learn IP-DRG, you are most welcome. Because on the DRG coding as well, I mean, majority of the companies I know in India, that they just do MS-DRG. I mean, they don't know ABCDs of APR-DRG. So, but all of our clients, I mean, we do toughest DRG methodologies. And as our CEO, Chako Valiappa said, we are proud to create a DRG system for Saudi Arabia, which is called SADRG. Like how 3M bought in MS and APR DRG, Vee Technologies in partnership with some other company, like we will be the founders of the SADRG model. So that's the subject matter expertise and the deep domain expertise we have, which is passed on to our coding team members through our internal CU programs and L&D team helping on the soft skills. So this helps a coder to become a leader, which brings like to say a point, like 80% of our supervisors, like team coach and above, are all homegrown. They joined us as a coders. We improvise their technical skills through our internal CU program, on which my colleague Mr. Senthil will talk about. And during the internal CU program, we identify the other areas where a person can grow. I mean, needs training, like soft skills or business communication, things like that. And then we share those details with our internal L&D team, and they take care of them. So immediately, like in a span of around 6 months to 1 year, these coders who started as a career as coders, they learn very good technically through our internal CU program, but also they are groomed to talk to the client and do efficient client communication, client coordination. So that's how the growth is all. And as I said earlier, yeah, all this is good. The different chart types, learning and becoming leaders, everything is good. What about the pay and pay? And that's an important thing that comes to the coder's mind. Yeah, there will be very few people like me who are from the old school, like where we give importance to different types of learning. But yeah, for the current generation, yeah, that's important. So yeah, and Vee Technologies, if you see our appraisal systems or the incentive policies are like very attractive. Like for example, I mean, you can question yourself in comparison to the other companies, or an average performer, say like a 3 on a rate of a scale of 5. If somebody gets rated, our minimum appraisals will be between 3 to 5,000 a year, and annual increments for the star performance, there is no bar. So this just gives an example of the difference, like what is Vee Technologies when compared to the others. And also we have excellent incentive policies, like 70% of our team members, who are around 1,500 plus coding team, 70% of them on a monthly basis earn an incentive which is equivalent to 20% of their CTC. Like for example, if your salary is 100 rupees, minimum you get 120 rupees at the end of the month, and there will be 20 to 25% of the people who earns more than 80% of their incentives. Like if their salary is 100, there are like 20 to 25% of the people who earns around 200 rupees with the incentive. So yeah, there is no bar for the excellent performers. And most important thing is the growth, what you can get at Vee Technologies. I mean, yeah. So that's what I want to cover. And I mean, you can hear from some of your colleagues, like who started their career as HCC coders, and how their life got transformed after joining Vee Technologies. And I'm handing it over to Janani. just to share a few thoughts, and then the others will speak. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jagdish. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, everyone. So myself, Janani Velumani, have started my career in Vee Technology, and I have completed almost 6 years. And I'm currently working in E&M coding. So actually, I have started my career in HCC, and later on, I got an opportunity to learn new specialties through our internal CU program. Thereby, I have learned this E&M and procedural coding, and I've started with my live production. Then gradually, I got a confidence to handle both HCC and non-HCC specialties. And even we are inculcating the same thing to our employees, and we got a chance to cross-train many coders to different specialties, and now they are effectively into production. And currently, I'm heading an E&M team of 40 members. By considering all my efforts, I recently got promoted to next level. So I strongly believe that there is way more to go in Vee Technologies and even to grow in Vee Technology. So I'm thanking you everyone for giving me this wonderful opportunity to express my gratitude towards Vee Technology. This is one of the best place for upgrading our skills. Thank you, everyone.
So this is one example what I was talking about. Janani started with HCC coding. Now, along with that, like we identified her on her other coding skills, and we started training them in inpatient E&M, and also on the soft skill side. So now she's handling a team of 40 plus, doing both physician coding and also the HCC coding. I would like to invite one of my other colleagues, Mr. Venkatesh Kamalnathan, to just share his story.
Hi, good morning and good evening to all.
Next slide, yeah, thank you.
This is Venkatesh from IPDRG. I actually started my career as an HCC coder in the year of 2010. Later in 2014, I joined as a quality analyst for HCC project with Vee Technologies. During my interview, I expressed my thoughts that I was interested in learning the other specialty which was considered, and I was moved to the inpatient IPDRG based on my performance. I have worked with a few other companies, however, they did not give this opportunity to me because they do not have the other specialty, but because they purely work for the HCC projects alone, and I could not even able to go to the next level. But in Vee Technology, I was trained well by the trainers for the IPDRG, and I have worked on the multiple live projects for the IPDRG. I am working with Vee Technology for the past 7 years because I feel there is a growth in this company, very good appraisal, wonderful incentive schemes based on the performance, and more so. Few months back, I have been promoted as a team leader for the IPDRG project for which I handle, and my team strength is around 30 plus coders in my team. And I also really feel happy that I have grown to a supervisor level in the IPDRG team. And Vee Technology is the place where we can balance both our work and our personal life. And it is also a stress-free workplace as well. I always feel proud to be a part of Vee Technologies. Thank you.
Thanks, Venkatesh. And I'd like now invite my colleague, Mr. Senthil, to speak more on the internal CEU programs. And actually, both Janani and Venkatesh are the products of our internal CEU program. Senthil, please.
Thank you, Jagdish. Good evening, all. Let me take a couple of minutes to talk about our unique and interesting education program, what we have. We call it as continuing education program. So primarily, this is applicable for all coders. As part of this program, each coder has to attend minimum 4 sessions in a month. So each session, when they complete, they qualify for 2.5 CUs. This coder, she or he has to maintain a minimum 10 CUs in a month. And particularly to become eligible for earning the CU, a coder has to undergo for a test. After a session, we'll be conducting a test and they need to score minimum 80%. So if a coder wants to earn more CUs, they can attend sessions, or like the other supervisors when they take for their team. It is open to all other team coders to attend that session, and they are getting a chances to learn other department coding guidelines, and also it opens up a lot of opportunity to learn other chart types and its relevant guidelines. So that's one of the important process we have. And finally, very important thing for a coder to become eligible for an annual performance review, he or she has to maintain minimum 100 CUs. So that makes objective over here. So it's both reciprocal benefits, where we get in-house coders for all other specialty, and in-house coders are getting opportunity to learn other chart types. See, the main benefit is to open up chances for coders to learn other chart types, and we have very good examples. We heard from a couple of people, and we have a number of coders who got chances to learn other chart types. Right now we can say, like, we have many leads who are handling HCC and non-HCC projects. In addition to that, so as an additional benefit, we could able to observe coders' presentation skill and also the verbal communication skill on this CU program. So where we keep our basic observation and identify coders with that skill, and we share the details to our learning and development team, and they trained our coders to develop their skill set from there. And probably I can say we have more than 100 supervisors who got trained in this model, which added a great reciprocal benefits to the coders and also for our process. So that's about our unique program called CU internal training program. In addition to this, I'd like to hand over to our manager, Mrs. Devahi, to talk about our coders' life in Vee. Devahi?
Thanks, Sundar.
Yeah, please.
Good evening and good morning to one and all. So I'm Devahi, working with Vee as a project manager, and I'm having overall 13 years of experience in HCC coding. And I worked with two of the major HCC employers in my past, and I'm much interested in continuing my career with Vee Technology because in Vee, we engage and encourage our coders in such a way they enjoy what they do. Our coders are thoroughly assessed and placed in different roles and responsibilities depending on their strength. Because once you placed with your strength area, your innovations become wide, and that's the reason our coders are shouldering their work with us in their process innovation. We also transformed our freshers into professional coders, and many of them are actually leading a team now. And that's the path we created to all our coders within the organization, and that's our internal job posting model too. So internal job posting is actually carried out twice in a year in Vee, so that the coders gets an opportunity to for getting promoted twice in a year. So that's another unique factor about Vee Technology and its career for the created for our coders. Also, we have the identified supervisors or identified senior people through this IJP will be thoroughly assessed and provided with leadership training internally by our training experts to bring the effectiveness in the leadership throughout their career. And if they need any training, like to groom themselves, they can volunteer and they can opt. They can take help from the internal training team we have. So that option is also there for their career growth. We also encourage our team to get certified once they are qualified to be through our 8 weeks of certification training program, as well as our certification reimbursement policy. through this training program, like they can do their work parallelly, they can get trained for getting certified and becoming professional coders as well. And we do the reimbursement of the certification cost incurred by the employees or the coders. And once they become certified with V, they can opt for working in other specialties too, because like if they wanted to learn the other specialties of HCC coding, as you have seen Janani and Venkatesh. So they once they the certification is done, they can opt for learning the other specialties. And apart from all these career improvements we are helping out to for our coders, we also connect our people through celebrations at different intervals during this pandemic situation virtually. At project levels also, like we do rewards and recognition and project anniversary celebrations and virtual coffee time with our CEO. So the interesting part of this coffee time with our CEO is like our CEO joins a group of people and greet and meets them and motivates them for their career growth. So I'm not sure like any of the other organization CEO ever thought of doing it. So that's the work environment we have, and that's the open culture we have at Vee Technology. And during all these celebrations, we also provide time for our employees to share their initiative or achievements they would have taken during this work from home, and effectively utilize the work-life balance at this pandemic situation. And we have observed a very good outcomes from our many of our employees. So by these ways, like our team enjoys their work, what they do, and improves their work-life balance. And because of which many of our team members, including me, are willing to continue their journey with us for a longer run. So that's what I just wanted to share, how we feel continuing with Vee as a career-oriented thing. And thanks for listening. I'm just sharing back to the panelists. Thank you.
So one of our the colleague Adavan will be talking about our wellness initiative.
Good morning and good evening, one and all. This is Adavan. I am working as a senior manager in Vee Technology for the past 60 years. So I want to share about the wellness, like what Vee Technologies is doing for these employees. Vee Technologies not only ensures the client satisfaction, but it will always ensure the safety and well-being of the Vee employees. So a part of the employee welfare benefits, we introduced this pandemic situation Corona Coverage insurance policy. It is provided to all the Vee employees for free of cost, and also their family members which get benefited with a minimum of premium. This policy covers around like 1 to 5 lakhs. We also have COVID relief support for our employees. If suppose any of our employees has been get affected with the COVID, we are providing the minimum of 8 days leave, paid leaves, apart from that casual leaves or earned leaves. So our company is ready to provide that COVID leaves to them. And we created a COVID buddy. Like during this pandemic situation, the COVID, which was a new kind of disease, they have a lot of questions and queries, and so many things are there. We form a separate COVID buddy team, so people will call them and question them, like to get more clarity and knowledge on COVID. Apart from that, we have a COVID support team. So that was working like 24/7. Like it was helping all our employees during the pandemic situations. Any kind of support, any kind of help they want to get treated, any of their family members is affected, they want to know the nearby doctors, hospitals, where it is vacant, and how to take care of them. Any issues, we created a separate COVID support team that helps our employees a lot, and they get benefited. From that, so when the situation COVID wave 2 has been done, we see that lot of loss of lives, and there is a crisis in the beds, hospitals, and oxygens. So our CEO bought a new kind of innovative thing called isolation center, where government and private hospital has been completely filled up. Like there was no place to take care of the treatment. So he brought a new concept called isolation center. There it was created across all the locations, and he ensured like no employee should get every employee should get benefited from the medical support, even if their family members or relatives, anybody is need immediate medical support. This isolation centers helps a lot. So apart from that, like work from home during the situation, the internet allowance, as we are currently doing the work from home, Vee Technology provide the internet allowance on monthly basis to get the broadband for all the employees to avoid any network issues during the work from home. And not stopping with that, so our Vee Technologies also provide UPS. Work from home plays an important role with the power issues due to the monthly shutdown, harsh climate, and causes power issues on daily basis, power interruptions in particular locations. Vee Technology offered UPS to the employees to continue their productions without any problems. This helps their families as well. Yes. So I think I heard like no companies did this kind of innovative things. So as I mentioned, we always take care of the employees and their comfortness. To get a better workstation as like office work, chairs are provided to the employees to be comfortable and is avoiding back pain and makes our employee healthier. So we is a very important point, like training kind of thing, that is big for the Vee Technologies. Virtual trainings. Training is the most important during the work from home, where there is no chance of a physical contact with the employees. We are providing sort of virtual training to our employees anytime. We wish and we ensure same weather are not reached to all the employees. This is one of the major thing like we were continues to do during the work from office. Every month we will do rewards and recognition ceremony, and we will appraise the employees who are doing the best performer, best auditor, best quality analyst, best production. So we are not stopping with even in the work from home situation. We are continuing the same thing like the virtual rewards and meeting. They're like all the senior management will be participating in this, and also like we call the family members, and the family members feel proud like their sons or daughters or their husbands or wives they get awarded. They feel very proud of, and they spoke the few things like how he was doing in the home. The surprise gift, Diwali gift. This no one has been expected this Diwali gift. This was another surprise from our CEO. During last 2020, we surprised the employees by providing the Diwali gifts to their doorstep. Diwali gift contains the valuable nets. Again, it added energy with love from our CEO. Next is employee wellness. Virtual doctor. Vee Technology always prioritized its employees during the pandemic situation. We have our employees connect with a specialized doctor through our Zoom call. It was happening like every Saturday, like any kind of queries, anything like our experts will answer to the queries. It's like consultation. We provide an opportunity to have one-on-one health checkup with the doctor 2 times a week to ensure the employee safety during their pandemic situation. We make our employee virtually connect with the doctors. And we didn't stop with this. Again, like make employees more comfortable and healthy. We have started a new kind of thing called yoga session. To ensure the fitness of the working people, Vee Technology provides the yoga session to the employees every day, 8 a.m. for the morning shift and 8 p.m. for the night shift employees. The major thing is like not only employees, their family members also can join this yoga session and get benefited. Next thing is like an important thing is fun at work. To ensure the employee happiness, enjoys the higher level of well-being and better mental health, our HR people used to bring lots of fun activities, lots of virtual games, team virtual lunch and home tours are making our employees stress-free. Usually we used to conduct the fun works every week during working in the office. So we didn't stop there. We want to continue what all the benefits we are doing in the office, continue the same thing from the work from home. So in these fun activities, like we make all the family members and their kids to make participate. This is a real memorable and it was a stress-free kind of thing. So like these kind of well-being activities, we were able to reduce the attrition less than 15% per annum. I'm always proud to be an VEN. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, Adhavan. And I'd just like to conclude it and hand it over to Richard. So this Vee Wellness program is something which is a byproduct of one of our NLP tool, which we are working on, which is called Risk Adjustment Optimizer. So what we do is for all of our employees, not only just Vee Technologies, the other groups like Sona University and like hundreds of employees, like we run through the HRA, health risk assessment form, and do their blood tests and show where the people like get a particular problem. I mean, for example, if they do some preventive exams and then identify a employee is at risk of getting a disease, so that's where our virtual doctor consultation happens. So these doctors are also on roll with Vee Technologies, and it's free of cost. And also do the wellness adjustments, like maybe it can be yoga sessions or the nutrition programs and things like that, which helps them not to get those diseases, more like a preventive thing. So all this is free, and we want healthy employees. That way, like we can continue to do what we are doing for the best. I mean, the best quality and best productivity. So thank you, and over to you, Richard.
Thank you so much, Jagdish. I know why the team loves being there. There's so many opportunities, there's growth, learning in terms of CEUs, and there's soft skills, an opportunity to learn, to get multi-speciality knowledge, improve their soft skills, improve their leadership skills. I see quite a lot of people who've moved up the ladder, in a short span of time. Certification programs, improvement in work-life balance, support for the work from home environment, the training that's provided during work from home. And yes, very important, I think, getting our families involved in the well-being activities. Thank you so much for that, Jagdish and team. Now, it's also important for us to understand that we have to, look at how we can secure our jobs, right? Secure our careers as HCC coders. So I'm going to invite the gurus to take us through a roundtable about this.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. Tony, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? No.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening to all in India, and very good morning to all in US. My name is Venkatesh Srinivas, and I have been working with Vee 7+ years now. And here in Vee Technologies, I oversee HCC projects, and I have been in this coding industry over the last 18 years, and I'm based out of Bangalore. Yeah, Tony, can you introduce yourself? Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Tony Coloramadil. I am the medical director at Vee Technologies. I am based out of the US, and I work closely with Venkatesh. Been with Vee Technologies about 3 years now, but most of my roots are mostly from India. I have family back in Kerala, as well as family in Bangalore and Chennai as well. Venkatesh?
Yeah, thank you for your introduction, Tony. There is quite a bit of lingering questions which I thought of discussing with you, Tony. May I?
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Tony, can you please explain how the landscape of risk adjustment is changing?
Sure. So as you all know, there have been a lot of changes in the risk adjustment space. So at Vee Technologies, we prepare you not just for today, but you should know that we prepare you for the future as well, as you heard from the other experts that just spoke before us. And CMS has been gradually shifting many of their payment systems, what is called the risk adjustment processing system, to what they're calling the encounter data processing model. This is a blended model, and in 2022, it will be 100% encounter-based billing. Here in the US, as you all know, as you've been working on charts, you know that we love our acronyms. Sometimes, you have to go searching for that acronym to make sure, find out what it means. And what I would like to explain to here is that how does all of this affect you? Venkatesh, could you please elaborate on what this change means for risk adjustment and why it is relevant?
Sure, Tony. But before that, I just wanted to give a brief preamble about what RAPS and EDPS is all about. See, by definition, both RAPS and EDPS are basically, these are the submission systems. By definition, it goes this way. This is basically an extraction of diagnostic data. Diagnostic data, I mean to say, it's a claims data, and placing them in a specific format to create a flow for submitting risk adjustment data. So this is a definition of RAPS and EDPS system. So many of us here will be wanting to know as to why CM is making the shift from RAPS to EDPS, meaning from RAPS to EDPS. CMS always believed that fusion will add a lot of diagnosis without meat, like we all know about it, right? So we all know, if suppose if in, we know like in FFS payment, the reimbursement is based on CPT, and little importance is given to the document the diagnosis accurately by the providers. So when this data is submitted to the CMS by insurance, then CMS will end up paying a lot of money. Again, this will create a fraud and abuse as per law. And also it's not an accurate payment either. So naturally, insurance companies get the penalty for this falsified data submission. Like we know, whenever the data is submitted from the risk adjustment point of view, the data submitted should be, meaning the diagnosis, whatever the diagnosis data that we submit to the CMS should be having some evaluative statement, meaning it should have a meet protocol to be satisfied. So with that context, it becomes an abuse by the insurance company when they're submitting this kind of data where it does not qualify for a meet. So because of this, CMS then wanted to streamline this process and gave directives to the insurance company to delete those HCC codes that does not meet the meet criteria, or the ones that do not have evaluative statements. So the outcome of this process actually was an eye-opener to the CMS, or I could say it misfired CMS in terms of their understanding the submission process per se. Because instead of seeing insurance companies deleting their diagnosis codes, they were adding a lot of diagnosis, meaning they were conditions that were addressed by the provider, but they were failed to be billed. So CMS saw this trend for a while and then again decided to shift from RAPS to EDPS system, because the whole objective of RAP system took a beating, because with this trend, it did not help the objective of CMS making the accurate payment to risk-bearing organization, and also failed to predict the cost of care effectively. So this is the reason as to why CMS took a call in terms of transitioning or shifting from RAPS to EDPS. So how are the objectives of CMS going to be achieved? With the EDPS system, there will be more accurate payments to the risk-bearing organization and will help in calibrating the predictive cost accurately. Mainly because in the EDPS system, it has the components of whatever the RAPS component it has, and additionally on top of that, it also utilizes CPTs codes, which are mainly used for completing certain functions, and these CPT codes must pass NCC audits. So I guess I have answered as to why this change is relevant. Then I have a question to you, Tony. Tony, can you please elaborate on how this affects HCC coding services, meaning the shift in RAPS to EDPS? Will there be any impact?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you, Venkatesh, for that great explanation. So as I had mentioned earlier, at Vee Technologies, we are preparing you for the future. And we have been preparing our teammates for this shift for the past 3 years almost. And we have been at the forefront of this process. And this is what differentiates Vee Technologies from other coding companies. Here, your future is secure. In other companies, most of the work is around retrospective coding, which is a seasonal business. You sometimes have months at a time when you have no work. And this obviously impacts your budget as well as, you all of us have families. And so at Vee Technologies, we've been giving more of an emphasis on concurrent HCC coding that is done after the encounter with the patient. So this allows us to code the diagnosis and query the providers for any missed documentation and be more accurate. We also train our coders in prospective clinical reviews. This is really important because the coders are effectively helping the doctors in the US look for conditions based on clinical indicators in the chart. These conditions the doctors may have missed. So it's not just a coding function, but they are also providing a patient care function as well. And this helps the doctors identify these conditions and provide better care to their patients. And over to you, Venkatesh. Venkatesh?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, thank you for that explanation, Dr. Tony. And for the audience, can you mention what additional risk adjustment services we perform?
Sure. We also do retrospective reviews to identify HCC coding opportunities and educational opportunities. As some of the other speakers before me said, we work with a lot of prestigious academic centers within the US. We also work with ACOs, hospitals, physician organizations. We spoke a lot about HCC coding, but we are also seeing a lot of interest now in the ACA, the Accountable Care model, and as well as in the DXCG models. And we have been training our reviewers in these models as well. Venkatesh?
Yes, thank you. I think that's the discussion was all about. And I have a quick question in the chat. Like, I got a question like, what sort of clinical expertise is required to do a prospective review? Dr. Tony, if you mind answering that?
Sure. This is a great question and something that a lot of coders have been asking us about. We've been seeing a huge shift towards these clinical reviews. And what we have done at Vee Technologies is we've taken those expert coders and we have transitioned them into clinical reviewer roles. If we see that you are doing exceptionally well in your coding realm, then we provide you with the training on identifying the signs and symptoms of various diseases. You are also taught to identify abnormal labs and read diagnostic reports. A short example is if you have a patient who is a diabetic, you will be able to directly communicate with the physician and let the physician know that this patient has an abnormal EGFR, or that they are due for an eye exam, or that they must be tested for neuropathy, things like that. So these are almost always done before the patient is seen by the doctor, and it's all real time. And right after that visit, again, we are able to code that note accurately as well. Venkatesh?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for answering that, Dr. Tony. I think is there any questions? Are there any questions? I don't see anything in the chat. Okay. Before we end our discussion, just to add a final note, as Jagdish and Dr. Tony rightly said, we are ahead of the transition curve. We started preparing ourselves 5 years back. This transition, what is going to happen now, that is from RAPS to EDPS. And I think we strongly feel that our future is secured in Vee because we had anticipated this shift and already accommodated ourselves to this change, and we are well prepared in terms of the business as well. So myself and Tony want to thank Vee for providing this platform. I mean, this virtual roundtable forum to share our thoughts. I mean, our views, and thanks to one and all.
Thank you, Venkatesh. Thank you, Tony. I think it's very clear on how we need to secure our future, secure careers with the landscape of risk adjustment changing. So thank you so much for that. And yes, now we're moving to the last part of it. But before we do that, again, let me remind you that there are a lot of prizes to be won, right? We have a lot of e-vouchers that you guys will be sent to you guys. And I have three more questions that I'm going to invite you to answer. The first one is, what is the full form of EDPS? What is the full form of EDPS? The second question is, Tamper protocol used for HCC coding is copyrighted by whom or which company? The third one, as per RADV methodology, can we consider medicines listed in current medication as MEAT without direct linkage by the physician to a condition? So we're going to get this type, Kavita, if you can just type it in on there for the participants, that will be great. Keep participating. There's a lot of vouchers that you can get. Lot of vouchers. So keep participating, take these vouchers back, and let us move to the next part of it. And this is a person who believes that people are the biggest assets, very passionate about people who work in the organization. As a matter of fact, she knows everybody's name. She would see a person and would buy, she knows thousands of names and she knows it all, knows it all. An enabler who believes in investing in people. Let me introduce to you our AVP HR, Mrs. Saujanya Prakash.
Thank you for the nice words, Richard. Good evening, team, for joining us this evening. So I would be talking about the culture at Vee Technologies. So our people are our biggest assets. That's what every leader at Vee Technologies believes. Right from Choco to Murali to Patrick, you've been hearing what they say about our people, their development. How do we tap their potential? How do we coach them, mentor them? So once you come into this organization, you are taken care. We are there to take care of you. So the way the organization is structured, we put our customers at the top layer, and our employees are the ones who are the first layer who are interacting with our customers. So you are the most important person here. If you are an employee of Vee Technologies, the employee comes first. The executive teams and the leadership are mostly enablers and facilitators who are helping the employees build their career over here. So the extraordinary outcomes that we achieve is because of the education and knowledge that the employees get over here. You come with certain knowledge, you build on it, you move towards extraordinary outcomes. The growth, the promotions, appraisals, whatever you have heard so far is all possible because of the knowledge that you would gain. So this knowledge will remain with you forever, wherever you are, whatever role you get into, knowledge is going to be your power. So if you are seeking that kind of a knowledge, Vee Technologies is the place to join. We are hiring huge numbers. We have a need for about 1,000 plus HCC coders immediately. We can take you in tomorrow if you're willing to be part of our team. So the vision of Vee Technologies is to be the leader in the global services industry through technology, innovation, and education, and with the power of our human capital, that's our people. Without people, this industry cannot survive. So our people are our biggest assets. So if you want to be valued, you want to be part of a team which is vibrant, this is the place. So to globalize success and to make lives better is our mission. Our CEO believes in it, and that's how this mission was put across, and we agreed to this mission as Vee Technologies mission. So every single employee lives with this vision and mission of the organization. So when we say globalize success and make lives better, it's not just our customers' lives, it's the lives of our employees, their families, the people in this country whom we impact, all the stakeholders who are associated. We wish good for everyone, and we would like to only good things for the society. That's how the business is done at Vee Technologies. We have seen organizations who take employees 1 or 2 years, they keep them. After they reach a certain stage, employees don't have any growth opportunity, and then they have to move on to do something else. At Vee Technologies, you can move into different roles, learn different specialities. There are people who have moved from operations to HR, business development. Our compliance head is one such operations employee who moved into the role of a compliance head. Now, these are the kind of opportunities you would see here. There are people who started with the insurance side of our business. Today, they are working on media analytics. So that's the knowledge that you get. You get a wide exposure. You can move into different domains. We establish new organizations every 2 months. That's how dynamic our CEO is. You have seen Hire Me. You have seen Sonayukti. There's a new company that we have set up recently. So there are opportunities everywhere within the Sona group. So you're not just limited to being in one area. If you want to be a specialist in your domain, you can continue to grow there. You want to expand in the same domain and move into other specialties, there's an opportunity. And if you want to completely get into a new domain because you're getting bored with the current domain, all the opportunities are available here at the Sona Group. So Vee Technologies is one of the larger companies in the Sona Group, but there are many more that you can look forward to if you're planning to build a career with Sona Group. So our motto is we hire our people for their attitude and we can train them for skills. So the right attitude, the energy, the flexibility, these are the ones which are going to make you successful if you are part of the V team. So to develop our people and to create better teams and bring out more leaders from our internal teams, we have set up a initiative called as the Micro Company Initiative. In this initiative, we make more minds work together. So the entire organization is divided into smaller companies called as micro companies. So every micro company has a CEO. The CEO is called as the captain of the micro company. And then all the functions which would be there in an organization like the HR, administration, finance, compliance, business excellence. So there are specialists within the micro company who are given these titles of the HR in charge, the compliance in charge. So what does this mean to you? So apart from being a coder, you become a compliance in charge. So you understand everything about compliance. You go and train your team on how to handle compliance. Or you become a HR person, you learn how to handle grievances. So when you do this, you're indirectly becoming a good leader for future. That's what your team leader does. That's what your manager does. They understand compliance, they understand HR, they understand how administration works. So they're collaborating with different teams in a company. You're acquiring all these skills which you would have learned in a management school, you get to learn in a micro company. So that's the reason we have this concept. And right from the top management, every leader in this organization invests a lot of time with the people of the organization, which is going to definitely help you grow faster than what you would have done elsewhere. So apart from the growth, the knowledge, the other things what an employee would look for is what are the benefits that the organization has, right? You think of any benefit, every single benefit is provided at Vee Technologies. Our CEO is the first one who would come and say that, let's give this benefit to the employees. In other organizations, HR has to go and talk to the leaders and ask them for the benefits. Here, our CEO comes and voluntarily says, why don't you give this benefit to the employee? So that's the kind of leadership we have. Our employee well-being, their wellness, the risk coverage is our primary motto. So we have group accident insurance, group term life insurance for the employees. So all of this protects you and your family against any kind of situations that you would come across. Group medical insurance, we have a cover of 1 to 5 lakhs. If employee wants to top it up, we have an opportunity to top up the insurance for you with minimal premium. Your parents are covered through group parental insurance. The corona insurance was given for free to our employees. In addition to the medical insurance, we had the corona insurance for 3 lakhs. And then employees could cover every family member. So we gave an opportunity to cover in-laws, parents, everyone. And our HR team who handles the insurance is a very vibrant team. Any small issue for the employee, they are there to take care of and help the employees. So having gone through the pandemic, all of you would understand the importance of all these risk coverage that you should have. So in addition to this, like Jagdish was talking about V plus Vasa, this is our own internal application that we have built where we have started working with our own employees, testing them on preventive healthcare, suggesting how they could handle this. And then we have also partnered with the John Hopkins team and a lot of COVID guidelines, how to take care of yourself during the COVID phase. All of this is available on the app. So our team would share the link on the chat session. You can go and download this app. Even if you're not part of our team, you get access to this app. This is for the entire society. As part of our mission, we have come up with several such products, and V plus Vasa is one such product. So our compensation, when you talk about the other benefits, compensation is above the industry standards. Most of my managers and employees say our salaries are exceptionally good. We have attractive incentive plans, 20%, 30%, 80%, 100%, like what Jagdish was talking about. You can earn higher and higher incentives. You can make more than your salary on your incentives. The performance appraisals are the best in the industry. Our employees are monitored on a daily, monthly basis. They get to know where they stand on a monthly basis. So this allows the employee to course correct, learn, and quickly improve and take advantage of the best possible appraisal. There are organizations who don't tell you for a year what's happening with you. But here, it's very important that every employee gets to know where they stand in terms of their performance, what is the gap in their knowledge, and our L&D team works on that gap along with your leaders, and they provide training at regular intervals. So in most of the companies, the training is an approach where your manager nominates you for a training, but at Vee Technologies, the employee can decide the career path. Employee can come in and say, I'm going to attend a particular program. We roll out an open calendar. Any number of people can come into the training program. With the virtual mode, this was all possible. We can have employees just join the training program whenever they are free, attend the session, get their continuous education units, and this also gets accounted in the performance appraisal system. So our employee rewards and recognition, there are a lot of ad hoc rewards, monthly rewards, annual rewards, a lot more to make our employees feel good about their contribution. So we always encourage a participative work culture. If some policy is not good and you have a valid point as an employee, we take up that point, we discuss with the senior leadership, and we bring in the change. So everybody here is willing to listen to the employees and change anything for good. We have an open door policy. You can reach up to the CEO level directly without any kind of bureaucracy at Vee Technologies. And whatever I spoke about, is linked with the core values that we believe in. Respect and dignity for everybody. We respect our employees, and we want to treat them with dignity. So every employee would expect that, and that's something that we strongly walk the talk. And using business as a driving force for the development of the society, that's there in our mission itself. And we want every employee to unleash their potential. So we empower them on the entrepreneurial side. It's more of entrepreneurship when you're into an organization and you're given a freedom to think like an independent owner of a business. The a kind of satisfaction you would get is very different. Let's talk about Jagdish. When he started with coding over here, the team was very small. He was given 100% freedom by the COO, the CEO, to grow the vertical. So he can come up with products and help them grow. So if you talk about Sendil, the way he has grown the Salem Center, Adavan, the way he has grown the Chennai Center, all of this is possible because of the freedom that was given to them. So we believe in giving a lot of freedom to our employees, coaching them and helping them be successful. So trust and transparency is one of our core values. We believe in speed and flexibility. Agility and flexibility are very critical for business to be growing faster. And what we expect from everyone is accountability, integrity, and compliance. So compliance is in our DNA. So if you are a compliant organization, any client would want to work with you. That's how we have been growing with all the hospitals. So the top 5 hospitals are our clients today. So how is that possible? No other Indian company has this kind of a clientele. If you work with us, you would get to work with one of the best in the industry. You would like to partner, you can partner with the people in the US, clients in the US. So this is what you get at Vee Technologies if you join. And if you believe in these core values and you want to have a great career, you can immediately write to hr@veetechnologies.com. My colleague Ankita will tell you how to apply further with some more details. Over to Ankita.
Yeah,
so these are some pictures of the happiness at work and events that we celebrate. Yeah, Ankita.
So these are the rewards and recognitions that we have on a daily basis to appreciate the efforts and contributions for our employees. And we make sure that, if employees are working and they're really working hard on their performances and the contributions, we make sure as a team to, reward them with the right kind of awards. So we have our monthly awards, we have our annual awards, and a lot of categories is there for each and every person who deserves to be awarded with the right performance and contributions for Vee Technologies. Next slide, please. So we have made our audience very familiar with a lot of interesting information about our company, our employee journey, our culture, and employee benefits. So we are very sure by now all of you will be excited to know more about Vee Technologies, correct? So no problem. We are here to help you by introducing you to the career page of our website, Vee Technologies, which has a lot of job opportunities for you waiting just for you. So what you need to do is the application process for any job opportunity is really hassle-free and simple. All applicants need to visit our website career page and explore our current openings under career section. As you select, I've given the screenshots here. So as you select the relevant opening and the vertical suited to your profile, you can look at the job description for the selected role. You will then be redirected further to upload your resume and submit your application for the position. Next slide. So once you upload and submit your application after reviewing the job description, you will be receiving an automated email from Vee Technologies as you submit the application. So yes, we are hiring, and we are hiring for various roles and for various domains. So what are you waiting for? If you're really looking for a high potential and innovative career and really want to create extraordinary outcomes in your career, then do take a step ahead and visit our current opening section for exploring all the job opportunities. I've also answered a lot of questions from the Q&A section, and I have asked them to visit our career website in case anybody is interested to apply for our openings. So for your reference, please visit the chat section to access our links to help you know us better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ankita. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think that's been, overall a very rewarding experience of being with Vee. So yes, I agree with all that you've said. Overall development of individuals, growth, long-lasting clients, different specialities, wide exposure, the benefits, the mission that we live of making lives better, and the fact that you get more on your incentives, you get a lot of money on your incentives, the best appraisals, training at regular intervals, a participative work culture, a leadership that listens, and that's very, very true. A company that lives the culture, and I'm sure that culture stems from the leadership. Thank you so much for that. Now let's move into the next category, and this would be the rewards categories. Now we've had all your answers. We have, all that you've typed in. So the categories, like I told you, one would be early enrollments, Q&A quiz award, early bird, right? Now you'll also receive a webinar, a digital participation certificates within the next 7 days. So this is a question that kept coming up again and again, and you guys are going to get that. And as far as the awards go, right, we've got all your answers, and we'll be sending you e-gift vouchers to your email IDs. Now let's move into the next session, and very important section is the Q&A section, right? And I'm going to invite people to raise your hands up, and depending on who raises your hands up, we'll give you the opportunity to ask the question. So we have a Shrivali who's raised his hand up. So Raja, can we get Shrivali to speak, please? So we'll finish with Shrivali and then go to Chakravarti. Shrivali, you can unmute yourself and speak. Shivali, you need to unmute yourself. Or if you're not comfortable speaking, you can always type in your question and we'll answer it for you. Type in your question. Anybody else? I can see another hand going up there. I think it's Chakravarti. Okay, it's Polinadu Bonnu. Yeah, can we unmute for Polinadu, please?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. And this is very wonderful session where I learn a lot of things about Vee Technologies. And I have one question regarding in EDPS, encoded data processing system. So how it will works and how it is affects the HCC future of HCC coding, and how it will work actually, because we know that RAPS is working based on the risk adjustments, based on the chronic conditions, and it's acting as like prospective and retrospective wise. But I'm wondering how the encounter data processing system will be plays a main role in few further HCC coding.
So how will it work and how will it affect the future of HCC?
Yes, yes,
Dr.
yes,
Tony.
yes.
Yeah, sure. I can answer that question. Thank you. So from the prospect, how it works is that in the past, we had physician organizations go out and pull patient charts so that you could do the coding on those charts and submit these codes separately outside of the encounter itself. But once the EDPS comes into place, now that the EDPS is in place and it will be fully in place next year in 2022, what happens is that what code was submitted during the encounter, after the condition was billed, those conditions go towards the risk scores for that patient. So you as a coder will be coding these conditions right after the physician has seen the patient. There will be no minimal or to no chart pulls. So you would be doing it right then and there. Physician saw the patient. We have most of our clients give us 48 hours to complete the coding. Within these 48 hours, we not only code the note, but we also sometimes communicate with the physician, asking them to clarify certain documentation and so forth. And this is a more accurate process, and you have an accurate risk score for that patient. I hope that answers the question.
Sure. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah,
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Thank you. It means you mean to say that it will be like a concurrent HCC type we are going to utilize in EDPS system.
Yes.
So there also it will be calculating that RAF scores or based on that, or I'm having a bit confusion on those.
Yes. So go ahead, Jagdish.
Yeah, just to add to what Tony said, Pauline, I do is currently, like if you see what is happening is the HCC coders, they just need to have the knowledge of ICD-10 CM and the HCC methodology. But when it goes to the concurrent reviews, definitely a coder has to do CPT coding also, because not just based upon the diagnosis, a coder has to learn CPT. It's your regular ENMs and all. That's how, apart from currently what we do on the CPT coders, what they do is they give more focus for the CPT procedures. They just capture like 3 or 4 ICDs. That's it. They don't apply the meat protocol or the tamper protocol. So going forward, how it will be is the HCC coders, not just the ICD-10 CM knowledge or the meat knowledge, they should also have good CPT coding skills, especially the ENM coding and other things. That's how the process will change into. The methodology is same. Like for example, earlier what happened was, why we are doing retrospective HCC coding nowadays, because the physicians do the documentation in Epic or Cerner. While doing the documentation, they give less focus to the diagnosis side. They focus more on capturing the documentation on the CPT side. So that's the reason all the insurance companies at the end of the year print the same charts and then provide to the HCC coders to capture the diagnosis from the HCC point of view. Now that scope will be gone completely. Like whatever is submitted the first time in the Epic or Cerner or EMS or EMR systems to the Medicare, that's how the risk score is calculated. And insurance companies don't have a second chance of looking at it to add more diagnosis having risk score. So for the insurance companies, they have to make sure the doctors document the diagnosis well, the first place itself. And for the coders, just having diagnosis coding experience will not work out in the future, because concurrent reviews need both diagnosis coding and the CPT coding, and also training the physicians on giving importance to the diagnosis side. Till now, we don't educate our physicians on the diagnosis side from the CPT point of view. So that's how it's going to change for the payers and also the coders. Does that give the clarity, Polinaidu?
Yes, yes, Jagdish, that's perfect. And thank you very much, both of you, Tony and Jagdish. And it's a huge change. It might be in the future of coding. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, let me also tell, thank you so much, Jagdish. Let me also tell Shivali that you have to unmute yourself and speak, or you can type in. So Jeffrey, before we come to you, well, there's a question for you, Jagdish. He says, Madhav has asked this question, what are the challenging aspects of this job? And there was somebody else who asked, how are we hiring? Jagdish, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, currently, like Vee Technologies is hiring around 1,000+ coders across multiple specialties. And as Ankita might have told, like they can directly go to our website and apply for it. And challenging aspects for this job, I mean, at Vee Technologies, as long as we are good in terms of the training and the subject matter expertise, it's not at all any challenging, because as some of my colleagues said, we give equal importance to the work-life balance and other things. So those things are not challenging. I know like a lot of other companies, they don't even allow the coders to log off their systems without completing their daily targets. It's not like that at Vee Technologies. We give importance to work-life balance. And I mean, if you're talking about Vee Technologies, as long as you don't improvise your skills with the training we provided, it will be challenging. But when you do that, it's not at all challenging. It's very happy work environment to work with.
Thank you, Jagdish. I think we have a Jeffy Baluran who wants to speak. Jeffy, you'll have to unmute yourself. Shivali, you also have been given rights to speak. You can unmute yourself. Jeffy, you can also type in your questions. Well, there's no response from them. You're welcome, Madhav. So do we have any more questions?
Richard, we are already ahead of the schedule.
Sure.
So we can allow 2 more questions and then we can close. And we can respond back to the participants on their queries to their email.
Sure. So Jeffy and Srivali, since you all have not spoken, it's fine. You can always send us an email with your question. First, I think to the panelists, thank you so much for making this such a beautiful session, an interactive session. And yes, to people who attended, thank you so much for being a part of this, this program. But we wish that you also become part of our journey. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. You can send us feedback on this. Now, people who have won those awards, I believe there are about 25 odd of y'all, 25 odd people, and we're going to make sure that this is sent out to you. We will get in touch with you. Send this out through email. So best of luck, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening and a great week ahead also. Thank you so much.
Friendship Day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Independence Day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, so we team, we will all connect later. We still have some more attendees on the meeting bridge. So it was a good session today. We'll catch up tomorrow. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you, team. Bye.
Good job, guys. Fantastic.